That's perfect. All righty. Okay, so welcome to the ESGI training. A quick overview. So we'll talk about how we log on. I'll give an overview of what ESGI is and why we use it. Then we'll talk about assessing students. We'll talk about data and reports. ESGI is great for data and reports. And then we'll talk about different assessments. And then hopefully we'll have a longish Q&A session and exploring a session where you guys can explore. And if you guys have any questions, then you can feel free to ask. So the first step is logging in. So like most of our district sites, if you can log in through Clever, that's the easiest way to go. So you can, when you log in through Clever, this is what it looks like. Can you guys see my Clever? Right? I switched. So you just put your username and then your password is, I'm gonna go down here. You sign in with your username, which is your Alum Rock Union School District email address. And then your password is the first 3 letters and then your birthday. Year, month, day. Okay. And then this is what it looks like. And then you just press the login button and then that logs you in. Another way that you can log in is you can just go to ESGI and press login with Clever that way. And then it's the same thing there. Okay. So that logging in is pretty straightforward. 2, here's an overview. This is an overview of ESGI. It's a short 2-minute video that we'll watch. And I believe I shared this down, but if you guys can't hear it, let me know.
This year, it only took me an hour to get through my entire class. 1 hour.
And really, you know, when things click, it's magical, and it does bring a tear to your eye.
If I had had this last year in kindergarten, I would have not pulled out as many of my hairs as I did.
Teachers everywhere are talking about a tool that is saving them time and energy in the classroom, up to 400 hours per year. ESGI stands for Educational Software for Guiding Instruction, and it's an online program that automates one-on-one assessments. With ESGI, paper assessments are a thing of the past.
With ESGI, everything is immediate. So that way I can adjust my teaching strategies with more frequency.
Our online software helps teachers collect the thousands of bits of data involved with assessing letters, sounds, sight words, math facts, and more. Teachers use the item analysis to see the least known letters or sight words in the class. Clicking on the bar graph shows which students need additional practice. Your students will love sitting with you at the computer or tablet for their assessments.
You know, as soon as I say their name, they're like, ooh. They hop down in the chair and I, have the computer in front of them.
ESGI displays the pictures or words, then your student responds and you record the answer with a simple click of a button. Each student's test results are organized for you in easy-to-read charts and graphs. With ESGI's Class Totals Report, it's a cinch to make flexible guided reading groups. Our customized parent letters in English and Spanish provide parents with a rundown of their child's strengths and weaknesses so the family knows what to work on at home.
You print flashcards for the child and give them right then so they know what they have to study.
Oh, the kids love it. Especially when I get that laptop out on Fridays and we start going through those assessments, they want their turn. And, they'll ask, is it my turn?
When teachers find a better way, they share it. You'll see a significant difference in your classroom. So try ESGI free for 60 days and reclaim your 400 hours.
Okay, so that was a great video. One thing that is not really accurate is the time. It will take you more time than an hour to test, but it is really true that you do save a lot of time because you don't have all that paperwork. And there are a lot of benefits to ESGI because it really tracks their progress, and you can like you could give flashcards and it only prints the flashcards that they need. And there are a lot of advantages. So although I don't agree with the 1 hour time, it does go by pretty fast. Like when we were in the classroom, I would use ESGI and I would, especially if I don't have to teach, I would go in the after school program and just pull kids and it would go by really fast that way. Of course, online is a little different. We have to kind of, the way that we do it is we make a testing schedule, to make sure that the kids can come, and it's a little bit more complicated, but it has a lot of great benefits to it. So we'll get into assessing students. Okay, so the district has district tests. So if you are in TK or K, you will see this top bar up here. Okay, so if you're in TK or K, then you will have a tab that says Alum Rock ESGI tests, TK or K. And then if you're in first grade, you will have a tab that says Alum Rock ESGI test first grade. Okay, so that's where you're going to click to get the district assessments. If you want more tests, you can always get more tests, but first you would have to add a subject tab because you cannot add subjects, you cannot add tests to the Alum Rock ESGI test tab, okay? So if you want more tests, there are so many tests that they have tests for anything and everything. And we'll go into how you can find a test. And if you cannot find a test that you like, it's very easy to make a test. Like, I don't think I'm very tech savvy, but I can make a test too. It's pretty easy. All right, so once you click on the Alum Rock ESGI tests, then you're ready to get started. Your list of students should pop up here, and then you would want to click the student that you're testing, okay? And then when you click the student that you're testing, you'll see their name big up here, okay? And then all the tests will come up that you will need to give her. And so these tests are in order. So these beginning tests are the tests we're doing at the beginning of the year. Up until, they're all in order, how we usually test the kids. So after you click the name, then you click the test button right here, okay? And then it pops up with questions. So, and then it also has, you just follow the prompts down here. What letter is this? And then you would just click on yes or no. Okay, so it makes it go by really fast because you're not writing things down. You're just clicking, and it does go by much faster than if you had all those papers. Like we used to have those huge packets in kindergarten, and then we'd have to flip through papers. So it makes it go by so much faster without papers. Okay, so then you just follow the prompts all the way through the test. And when you get done with the test, it gives you a little chart. It says this many were recognized and this many were not recognized. So when you're done with the test, you can see the report over here. On this right side, it has a parent letter. My favorite thing last year was the flashcards, because for everything that the kids didn't know, for all the letters they didn't know, for all of the sight words that they didn't know, it will pre-generate flashcards for the kids. So this is a really great resource because you could print out those flashcards. You don't have to check which words did this child miss. It already knows it and it prints it out for you. And this year there's something new called Bingo. So you can see student details. You can see the progress report where it'll show all the times that you tested the child up until the current time. So it's a really nice way to show progress for all of your students. And you can also see a class tool. You can set class grades. I think that they've already been set. So, like for fours, they need to know all of their letters, and then it goes down from there. Any questions up until that point?
Lisa, quick question. Can I share out the deck, the slide deck with everyone?
Sure, yeah. Oh yeah, sure, of course. Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
And then there was a question in the chat about, do you just share the screen or do you have students log in?
I just share my screen. It's just easier that way. ESGI does have a program where they can have their own screen and they can see the question, but not the yes, no answers at the bottom. But for me, it's just easier to come here, come sit by me, and then I just use my mouse, or you can use your finger and just tap on whichever answer the answer is. So that's easy. That's just easier for me. But it does have the other option where the kids can have their own screen, but you could just share your screen as well. And online, it's really easy to share your screen. The kids can see the yes and no buttons, but I think it just looks like a little flash, whatever. If they whatever I pick, the yes or the no, it's a little flash that the kids see.
And it looks like we have a question from Brenda.
Okay, for some reason, I don't see the chat button. I'm not sure why, but okay. What is the question?
So you said we have grades, so it's already, so if we press on it, it'll say a 1 or 2, a 3 or a 4?
Right, yeah. So the grades, you may, I don't think that you can edit them in the Alum Rock site, but what we had posted was usually to get a 4, you had to get all of them right. And then a 3 was like 70, I think 70 or 80 to 100%. I forgot exactly what the score was, but we did put it in there. So when it comes time for the report cards, you should be able to just click it and it should come up with a 4, 3, 2, or 1.
And then our next question is,
oh, what was that?
Sorry. Next question is, for distance learning, we test the kids while they are at home.
Yes, you do test the kids when they are at home. So it does take longer because, like in my class, we make appointments, 15, usually we test for 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And so far we've tested capital letters and sounds and lowercase letters and sounds, and then a few more math tests on numbers and counting to see how far they could count. So one thing that when you're testing the kids from home, you want to tell them if they don't know the answer, they could just say, I don't know. That's okay, because we don't expect them to know all the answers right now. And even later on, they don't need to know all the answers. A lot of kids are really hesitant to say, I don't know. They don't want to say, I don't know. But you just tell them it's okay if you don't know the answer, just say, I don't know. And another thing is, it's really important to tell the kids that they need to do their work by themselves. I did not have this experience, but my colleague had an experience about 5 times where the parents were whispering the answers to the kids. And sometimes my hearing is not so great anymore, but I hope that that didn't happen in my class. I didn't hear it if it happened. But you want to tell the kids and whoever's listening when you're giving the test that they're supposed to do it by themselves, because we're the teacher and we need to know what they know in their head. And we don't want to, nobody can tell them what the answers are. Big sisters, big brothers, aunts, uncles, anybody else. No one else can tell them what the answers are. So before we even start the test, I would say, now I want to know what you know in your head. Okay. I know these letters, but I don't know what letters you know. And I want to help you learn the letters you don't know. And in order for me to do that, I need to know what letters you don't know. So if you don't know the answers, say, I don't know. And I did have this, this happened in my room where this child was in TK last year and he's in my kindergarten class this year. And so I tested him on the letter names, and he did pretty good. And then I tested him on sounds, and he didn't know any sounds. And he learned all the sounds last year, but he forgot. And his mom said, "You know that sound?" And he said, No, I don't know that sound. I don't know any sounds. And so they got into a big like squabble right there. And I was like, it's okay. If you don't know, it's okay. If you forgot, it's okay. Whatever it is, it's okay. I just want to know what you remember right now. So it's okay. Just tell them it's okay. And to the parents, it's okay if they don't know. It's great if they could say, I don't know, because a lot of kids don't want to say, I don't know. They just sit there or they say, well, that letter has a line like this or something like that, you know. And, you know, if you don't know, it's okay. We'll work on it. We can work on it. But if I don't know what you don't know, then I'm going to think you know everything. And then you're going to be in trouble because you're not going to know everything. Okay, so it is a little bit challenging testing the kids at home because we really do want good data so we can help them learn what they need to learn. And it's important that we let our parents know, please don't help them because you're not helping them, you're hurting them by telling them the answers. Good question. Okay, so that's about the testing and the data. And I think so the way I did the testing this year was I set up test appointments and I let the parents know when their test appointment was. So the parents were there during the test appointments. And I think a lot of the parents were really surprised as I was testing because like I had this one boy and like I would show him the letter A and I said, like, what letter is this? And he said, well, I don't know. It has a line like this and then another line like that. And the dad said, no, she wants to know what letter it is. And I got the impression that like the dad thought the child knew the letters because, you know, if you have kids, we love our kids and we want them to be experts in everything and know everything. And so a lot of times, you know, parents think that their child knows more than they actually know. Okay, so I think it will be kind of eye-opening for the parents, but at the same time, it's good because the parents are learning to how they can help their child and what their child needs help with. All right, so you can always add assessments if you want more assessments than what's there. We have a lot of assessments in ours. So the way that you add assessments is you can go to the Test Explorer at the top, and then you can look at district tests, or you can look by featured series. These are all featured series, or you could look by noted authors. So they have Grades Monthly, they have all sorts of different authors, and they have Heidi songs. And these tests might work for you or they might not work for you. It kind of depends like how you teach and what you're teaching at that time. So, but you should be able to find whatever you're looking for. But if you can't find whatever you're looking for, if you can't find it that way, you can type in search for any tests, and you can also use filters to narrow your search. Okay. And then if you still can't find the test that you're looking for, you can make your own tests. Okay. Oh, this talks about like, you know, if you do find a test that you want, you will click on the blue words, click on the title on the blue words. Okay. And then you can preview the test. You will need to make a tab. That's a different tab from your Alum Rock test tab. So you'll want to make a tab before you can add anything to the tab. You need to make a tab in the beginning. So then when you find a test, you can add it to your language arts tab or your math tab or whatever tab you want to add it to. But I'm not sure that you'll need to make a test, but you might feel creative and you might want to do that. All right.
Can I just jump in really quick?
Yes.
Lisa? The for Spanish, you're going to make a new tab. Oh, perfect.
Slide. I'm sorry. I skipped that slide. Yes, for Spanish, you want to go to Kishmore Productions, and there are lots of Spanish tests in there. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to skip that slide. Did you want to add anything else?
Oh, no worries. Yeah, it's okay. You can do that. They're not in the Alum Rock one because that's not that's not what we're going to be reporting on. So you can do the Spanish ones in your own tab, and then we can still find the data there. So that's how you're going to do the Spanish ones, if that answers that question.
And also when you search, like when you search here, you can type in Spanish and you could search for Spanish test that way too. And I think there was another question. Clara?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. Brittany, if we already have our own Spanish tests, can we use those?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And then I would just have to put them to where Alum Rock or where?
Just put them in your own subject one.
Okay.
We can put them there. Unless, Clara, do you want to, would you mind if we put them in the Alum Rock one and then our Spanish teachers can use those ones, or do you want to just keep them separate?
The ones that I've created throughout the years, I think are open or accessible to other people, because I know other teachers from Adelante, you know, that have used them. So, I mean, I think they're there already.
Okay. I can make a separate, like Alum Rock Spanish ones for them to use.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and if you have already assessed not in the Alum Rock subject, what ESGI is saying is you can print out the parent report and then insert the data into the Alum Rock tab. But I'm going to test it out a few times to make sure that that is an efficient way of doing it before you can proceed. So if you want to try that out and pull the data and put it over, you can, but don't feel like you have to do it right now if you've already tested in a different subject. Sorry, Lisa.
That's okay, no problem. All right, so creating assessments. So if you want to create your own assessment, it's really pretty easy. You use this sidebar after you go to Test Explorer. You can do create new test, or you can do auto test creator. So when you go to auto test creator, you would create the test, give it a name, a description, content area, grade level, and then I don't think that you have to have a test ID. I'm not sure. And then add it to the subject. And then you would add question. Okay. When you add a question, this is what will pop up. Now so you see where this red rectangle is, this is where you add the question. So it says add text or image above. That's the key word there, because it's really easy, like click on this, like you're trying to add something to this black box, but you can't add anything to the black box. You need to add it above. So, you know, like for when we did letters, we would put what letter is this, or, you know, if you're doing number recognition, what number is this, or if you're doing rhyming or whatever you're doing, you can put the question there. And then it also has this picture tab where you can insert pictures. Like if you're doing rhyming, maybe you want to put a fox and a box, and the question is, do they rhyme? And so you can pick different images as well and put them and insert them in the question or the picture. Okay, any questions about that part? Okay, so now that went pretty fast, a half an hour. So that means we have like a half an hour for questions and answers and for you to explore ESGI. And if you guys have any questions, I'm here to help. I do think that it is a really great program that will save you a lot of time. I was thinking I could show you my ESGI. And I had mine here. Yeah, so here's mine. So, so these are the tests that I have done right here. I click on the Alum Rock ESGI test, and these are the ones that I've done. And then I would do these again, like throughout the year, you can retest. Like if I click on this person, we want to test again. And then here you can see history. So this is where he was in September. And then you can see also details over here. So you can see what answers he got correctly and what answers he missed. And then I'm just going to press cancel and close. And then over here are where the reports are. So if I go to flashcards, then you can pick which flashcards you want, like counting by ones. I don't usually do that one. And probably just these two. So we want to view the flashcards. And then it comes up with all the flashcards for the letters he missed. So these are the letters that he missed that he needs to work on. So it's a great resource because you could just print it out and then it's all ready to go. So that is a great resource. Oops. Okay. Wait, I think this is here.
And it looks like Teresa has a comment.
Oh, yes. Hi. So I'm a first grade teacher. I saw that there are 12 assessments. Do we have to complete all 12 in October for the beginning of the year? I've tried 3 so far, and it's been taking me about like half an hour per kid for just 3 of them. So I was wondering what is absolutely required for the beginning of the school year right now.
So, Brittany, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, let's think about this.
So the other first grade teachers and I, at my school, we've taken a look at the tests. And we thought that right now the segmenting, decoding CVC words, and addition and subtraction word problems within 20 were suitable for what we've been doing lately. And some
Can you
of them
say that again? What was segmenting?
Segmenting, CVC words, and addition and subtraction word problems within 20.
Segmenting, decode CVC, and addition and subtraction within 20.
Yes, so we decided to test those 3 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other ones, some of them are like way above their heads, so we haven't tested those ones.
No, that's super good feedback. So sight words, middle of the year?
So the sight words one, we were wondering if it's possible to have the benchmark sight words because those don't match what we're learning.
Do you have, I know that Lisa, you guys do your sight words benchmark and Jan Richardson, right?
And also we do Dolt. So we've created a rainbow word list because we have, looking for something. Yeah. I can't find it right now, but we've incorporated like the benchmark words with Dolt's words with Jan Richardson's words. So that's how we came up with the list. But I know that different teachers might teach the words in a different order. But also I cannot see the the Alum Rock ESGI first grade test. So I don't know what that looks like. But so Brittany kind of went off of the word list that we gave her. So that includes adults' words and Jan Richardson's words for guided reading.
Okay, yeah, I see there's 41 words for the sight words. We have very different words for benchmark.
Okay, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that necessarily.
If you guys, if you have the assessment, or if you want to build it and put it in there, we can put it in the Alum Rock one and replace it. I'm just trying to, because ESGI is the first year that we've put in for first grade. This is the kind of feedback I need because I can't, I can only go off what I have. But let's talk offline about, like, let's talk after this and we can go through it and see what makes sense for first grade.
Okay, that'd be great.
I think that, so segmenting, decode CBC words, middle of the year would be those two again, and then, well, let's talk offline if that works.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions about anything? So this is what the kindergarten, this is how the kindergarten one looks like. And so we spent about 15 minutes on each child, and we were able to do these 5 tests. And so we did these tests in the beginning of September to mid-September. It took about 2 weeks because we did about 3 to 4. No, I think it took actually 1.5 weeks. We did 3 to 4 people each day. So, Brittany, would you like to share the first grade, what it looks like? Because I've never seen what it looks like. And maybe, I don't know, other people might be wondering what it looks like.
Yeah, let me, okay. So let's see.
Sorry, put you on the spot.
No, you're good. It is tied to Clever, whatever your grade level in Clever is. So that's why you can only see your grade level this year. There's just some things that have changed in the program. So the first grade one just says Alum Rock ESGI tests first. These are the ones that are suggested by ESGI. So for example, the blue are all the ELA, green are math. And then to your point about the sight words. And we may already have the benchmark sight words in here under another test explorer. Has anybody seen that?
Brittany, we don't really know that. I've seen a list of benchmark sight words for first grade.
Yeah.
But I don't know where.
Okay.
Brittany, we can't see any words. We just see the ESGI and the password page.
Oh, you can't see this?
Oh, yeah, right. We can't see that. We could just, I thought you were still logging in.
Sorry.
Oh.
You know what, I shared Chrome, and you know how they
oh, there we go.
There we go. Because it pops
okay,
up
there we
on
go.
a different
Now
one.
I can see
Okay.
it. Okay.
Here are the first grade assessments. Again, blue ELA, green math.
Yeah.
And the sight words.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I see so we can definitely replace that with benchmark ones.
Yeah. So any other questions? Do you guys see on your computers, do you see the Alum Rock ESGI tests? If you open a new tab, or if you have a different device, you can go on there. Can icons be added to the tests? Like in rhyming words? Yeah, so yeah, you can add pictures. So you could add pictures when you make the test, definitely. Like if you want it for rhyming, you would want pictures to be there. Dog, frog, you want those pictures to be there. Yeah. So I can show you, let me see.
There is a question about adding a sample student. Because we had to roster through Clever and we are reporting out on this data, we cannot add sample student, unfortunately. Are the assessments linked with district project progress reports and semester report cards? They're not like linked, like it won't appear automatically.
Right.
You'd have to bring it over. Mm-hmm.
Right. But you can print out all of the numbers, the 1 through 4, and then you just have to transfer it over. So I was going to share my screen. So this is the rhyming test that we have in kindergarten. Can you guys see it? Right? Okay. So tree, we say, which word rhymes with tree? Glue, bee, or barn? Which word rhymes with tree? Okay, so you can definitely put in any pictures you want.
The other question about audio available for math questions. This is a one-on-one test, so the audio is you speaking.
Yeah.
Right. And are we required to do level screeners 2 plus ESGI for the grade level? It depends on the grade level. So kinder does level screeners middle of the year and end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
First does level screeners 3 times a year, or the book nook screener.
Right.
So we do have to do level screeners and ESGI for first grade.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we can use Book Nook instead, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I do have one question from my coworker regards to, she tried today, like we mentioned tests, right? There's quite a few of them for first grade. And she was saying that one little child who's pretty good in his level of ability, and it took her 30 minutes just to get through, I think, one language arts and a simple math assessment. So we're wondering, because it's so lengthy and to get through it, and we have 25 or 24 students, do they expect us to, do it all like Brittany, like we were saying, or we can condense it? She wanted me to ask that, so.
Yeah, we are gonna condense it with your guys' feedback on the first grade assessments. We'll split them up so that you don't have to do all of them, all 12.
Okay, thank you.
So also, I really recommend, allowing yourself a lot of time, like, 2 or 3 weeks to get all the tests done and start with the higher students in the beginning. So that way you're not too stressed out. I know some of the tests are really hard to do. I saw there was one question where they touch a book or point to something. So they're not able to point to anything or touch something. So some tests that we used to give, we're not giving right now, or it says optional. Like one of the tests that we used to give is writing the numbers. So we used to watch them write the numbers. And if they wrote the numbers how I explained how to write the numbers, then I would mark it correct. but sometimes, you know, if they wrote the number a different way, then I would mark that they didn't know how to write the numbers the way I taught that. So we can't really monitor what they're writing because, you know, they could have a lot of help or something like that. Somebody else could have written it. We can't see that. So some of the tests might be hard, or you might not be, it might be really hard to do those tests during distant learning.
Is it possible to create multiple choice questions rather than just yes, no type of answers?
Well, no, like the writing test is a multiple choice questions like tree, which word rhymes with tree, glue, bee, or barn. So that's like a multiple choice, you know, where it's not a, oh, no, okay, so let me share my screen again. So it says yes, no on the bottom, but it's not, it's a multiple choice question. It's not a yes, no question. So for this one, I just mark yes if they got the answer right. And I mark no if they didn't get the answer right. So if they say glue, then that's a no, they didn't get it right. If they say barn, that's a no, they didn't get it right. So this is not a yes, no question. This is a multiple choice. So many of the questions are multiple choice. Either they're multiple choice or they have to produce something. They have to say the letter or say the name, something like that.
Thank you.
Let's see. So most of them, they have to say something or they have to count, like counting objects. It always says yes, no down here, but this is just for me to record if they got the answer right or if they got the answer wrong. So this, I mean, they could say any number here. And then one other thing is it has the notes here. So the notes tab, I like to take notes, like especially if I'm doing number recognition, and if I show them 12 and they say 21, I can type in 21 really fast. And then that reminds me that, oh, they knew, you know, they just reversed it and, you know, got a little mixed up. So this yes or no at the bottom is just for me, but it's not a yes, no question. They're questions that have an answer. Most of the questions, they have to produce something. They have to say something. They don't just say yes or no. They have to say something, letter or number or something like that.
Lisa, on the bottom of that test, we were able to see the yes or no, and I'm able to see the number 14. So do the kids see that too when you share it?
Let's see, what test was that? Was that counting objects?
The one with the apples, and then you have yes or no, and in the bottom it says 14. It says the number.
You are right. How did that get there? That shouldn't be there. That number shouldn't be there because we don't want the kids to see that 14 and not count. You know what? I think that one is a mistake. Like this one says, just count the circles, count the, you know, how many there are. So
but I think on that one, I think
that one is an error.
The objective might just be for us to listen to them count to see if they can count in the correct sequence.
Yeah, but I still think that we shouldn't have this number 14 here. But probably if they can't count to 14, they're not going to know that this number is 14. But I still think that that number shouldn't be there. Like this one, the number isn't there. The number is not really supposed to be there. So good point there. And then, so on this test, count by tens. So it's just, can you count by tens to 100? That's it. And then like this one, count by ones to 10. When you give this test, well, I don't really want to change this person's test, but it goes by tens. So if they can count to 10, you press yes. And then it keeps going. If they can count to 20, you press yes. And then let's say they only get to like 22, and then they say 25, 27, 29. Then the next one would be 30. You would say no, 40, no, 50, no, 60, no, 70, no, 80, no, 90, no, and 100, no. So the teacher will always have the yes, no questions at the bottom, but the questions are not yes, no for the kids.
I have a question. I tested my students on the capital letters and capital lowercase letters and sounds, but I didn't realize I had to be on the Alum Rock tab. So I used one of the other tabs. And so now, do I just transfer all that information, or is it like an easy way to transfer?
Yeah, the Alum Rock tab is a new tab. So Brittany, how do we transfer that easily?
So I'm going to work on it and test them out. I've been working with ESGI. They did suggest printing out the parent report and then putting that information in. But I'm going to try it out a few times before I send you guys to do something that no one has time for. So just stick with us right now. Don't worry about transferring it. And then we'll figure out a way to do that, hopefully in a more efficient manner.
Okay.
I know no one needs more work to do, so we're cognizant of that.
Sounds good.
And then there was a question about completing it after synchronous time. They are one-on-one assessments. So Lisa, do you assess after like morning meeting, or do you do it like during small group time? What do you recommend that you found?
I think that we still have, like in kindergarten, we are supposed to do 1 hour minimum with the students. So right now we are doing 1.5 hours with the students. So I think during the testing time, we would drop that to 1 hour and just take out something. It's really hard because I know you want to do everything, and it's really hard to do everything. But that's what my partner and I were talking about, is just dropping it to the 1 hour. And then we set it up so we tell them, we give them an appointment time. So they come to our link and they just wait in the waiting room. We have the same link, and then we go into breakout rooms. My partner goes into a breakout room with her kid, and I go into a breakout room with mine. And then we just have our other friends waiting, and they're kids, and so sometimes kids will log off. And one time one kid logged off and she said, well, I was waiting for so long, So I know it's really hard for them because it seems like they're waiting for a long time sometimes. And so, but we try to tell them, log in at this time, and then hopefully we'll get to you as soon as possible. But sometimes things happen. And so I think that we are still required to do our 1 hour, so we still have to do the 1 hour. And then, I know all of us work after the 1 hour. We're setting up slides and so much other work. I'm not sure how it's going to go either, because like right now, if I had to do this testing, I'm not sure how I would fit it in either. But well, that will give us a half an hour. So that would give us like 2 students. So if I could do 2 students in that half an hour, then, it's probably going to take me 2.5 weeks to finish testing if I do 2 students every day. So it really helps if you allow yourself a lot of time so you're not stressed out about it. Does that help?
I'm also wondering, I'm wondering if what we should do is take sight words out completely of the Alum Rock required assessments and let everyone do their own sequence of sight words in their own
that would
subject tab.
That would, I think, work since everybody does sight words a little bit differently. You know, everyone, of course, goes by benchmark and stuff, but everyone adds their own sight words. And you really do want to test the kids on what you've taught.
Yeah.
You know, to see if they know what you have taught. So I think that would be a good idea. Just have sight words, you know, it's really easy to make your own test of sight words.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very feasible idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question. I was wondering if it might be a possibility to play a video for the kids, like an educational video, like say if I'm testing alphabet, letters, and sounds, for them to be watching a high frequency word video and have my aide in charge of the group while I'm in a breakout room testing a child, you know, so that the rest of them are doing something together and the aide is in charge of the video while I'm testing a different subject, or since they won't hear it anyway, right? But I figured, you know, if it's possible, I'm not sure if it would be, and that's what I'm wondering.
That's a really good idea. I know that usually the aide cannot take over the class, so I'm not sure. That's a good question. That's a really good question, because if that's possible and you have an aide, that would be really helpful. Brittany, do you know?
I would check with your principal on that one, just because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to say yes or no on that one without totally understanding what's in place. So I would talk to your principal, Wendy, and see what she says. I totally get what you're saying, though. That would be a good solution to keeping kids engaged when you're in breakout rooms.
Yeah, because normally while we were on campus, that's what I would do. I would, you know, of course I'm right in the room, so it wasn't a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you might be cautious too about showing videos for like so many days, because then the parents might not like it. And, you
know. Question about ESGI linked. Oh yes, that one. You can pull up the grades. They're not linked directly. Like it's not going to automatically populate in a report card. Yeah. So what we'll do, some next steps is we'll pull out the sight words and go back to the first grade assessments. I really value this feedback. It's good for us to look through. We do want to make it manageable. We understand this. So it's good to know. But thank you guys so much. I don't know if there's any other last questions. I do have the attendance, so you don't need to fill out a timesheet or anything, and I'll put it through to process.
Oh, hey.
One last question.
Just quickly, what was our question? That's senior moment. No, regards to the, oh my gosh, senior moment. Here we go. How embarrassing. I just embarrassed myself in front of all my coworkers.
No, you didn't, Gail. We're all together.
Oh, I know. But the question you're asking about regards to testing, I'm an overload, right? Blue light glasses. We can use, eventually you mentioned asynchronous time. It's okay for me to make appointments during their asynchronous time, correct? Is that okay? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do small groups anyways, but then if you take that away, I mean, I could say, okay, I'm going to do testing, but thank you for telling me, Lisa, about taking your time. And yeah, I mean, no, well, I shouldn't say this, but the world's not going to end. I shouldn't say that word. That's bad phrase, you know, but I'm just hoping that the district, Brittany, that they will let us, like in other districts, you know, they don't do conferencing and they do it all the way to right before Thanksgiving. And so I think we do it very early, and it's always like right where Halloween is. And it's like, you know, so they give us some more leeway, because I know that you guys have made some changes, and just if they can understand that if we do go over and meet with parents, even though it's past that little window, I pass that on. I would appreciate that. But yeah, thank you.
For sure.
Thank you for good job.
Thank you.
Brenda, do you have a question?
Oh, I have a question. Sorry, I put it in the chat. It was about data from last year. So this is my first time teaching first grade. My students there are some of my students that have data from last year. I imagine it's kinder, but it's still there. So should I clear that before I start testing, or how do I do that?
Do you have this? What does the school year say? Does it say 2021 or 2019-20?
Let me look.
In the upper left. Lisa, do you ever see data from last year?
I can see data like underneath, underneath track name, Alum Rock, then you could see school year 2021. I can share it with share.
Okay. You see data
So, here.
Okay.
So I can go here. And these are my kids from last year. So I can see my kids from last year, but can like their first grade teachers see these results?
So it shows me 2020, 2021, but yeah, so it is showing me data from last year, but it's this school year.
It shows you the data because I have TK students and the 3 TK students I had, but all you have to do is retest all items again, and then it resets it. But then you'll see the pattern, what they knew from TK. Did they gain? Did they lose? Okay. You see that valuable information. But all you have to do is when you click the name of the student and you test, you just retest all again. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
That's super useful information.
I have a question. Okay, this is my first time to test the kinder or TK. So the end of the test, do we have to save anything before we go to the next student? Is there any save button or anything I have to save it?
Oh yeah, you would have to save it.
Oh, there's a button at the end somewhere.
I think so. I'm pretty sure there is. I was still checking out this thing.
So,
I think it
let me
automatically
see. So
saves it.
It's automatic save it?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I think you just press end.
Oh, then
I think you just press end. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it automatically saves it, but you do press end. Yeah.
Okay.
Or next.
Next question. So the test for TK and K the same? Because I teach combo. I teach combo.
Yeah. I teach a combo too, TK and K, and so
it's the same test.
So we did put the same test for TK and K.
Okay.
You know, so we pretty much want them to know the same things to get ready for kinder, but you know, we can be mindful that they're only TK. So,
okay. All right.
You know,
thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, so like the sight words, we're gonna just make all sight words optional. Sight word assessments optional.
Okay.
And so then everyone can do their own. And so if you go back in that document that is the ESGI assessments TKK1, I am updating the required first grade ones right now. So that answers one of those questions. Do the tests have deadlines? The deadline for this first group, so now first grade has 3 assessments that are due by the end of October. If you need more time, that's totally fine. But we are going to have to start reporting this information out soon.
And where can we find that information?
It's on the assessment plan. It's linked there. I can share it. I can put it in the chat. Would that be helpful?
Yes.
Oh, I could.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So Brittany, so for the 3 tests for first grade, are they going to be, you disable the other ones, or we can?
You'll be able to see all of them, but just use the 3 that are outlined on there.
Okay, on ESGI it's outlined. Right now you've changed it, or no?
On the assessment, on the, here, let me put the,
okay, I have that printed out. Thank you. Okay.
here, don't print it because things change. I don't want to give you false hope, Gail. So let me share my screen really quick.
Okay, I printed it out before, but maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, so here's the assessments at a glance, right? Hopefully this looks familiar. And then you go to this outline of required assessments, link there. I always find my computer so much slower when I'm sharing my screen. Here's beginning of the year TKK. And then if you scroll down, here's first.
So in that beginning of the year one, are those the ones that we should be done by end of October?
Yeah, beginning of the year, end of October. Should I put that there?
Can you share with us again so I can save it in my Google Drive, the link? Thank you.
Sorry, it's like end of October. And I need to add the standards. So I could do that. And then again, so the middle of the year ones, I'm gonna need some your guys' feedback in order to be able to do the middle of the year ones. So if anybody wants to work on that with me, that'd be super appreciated. So these are beginning of the year for TK and K. And I will okay. There it is for you guys. Any other last minute questions?
That's it.
Thank you guys so much. And Lisa, thank you so much for this. We so appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. I hope you guys really do enjoy ESGI. It really has saved a lot of time with my class, and I think it's so much more informative for parents and for us. I think that it is really a great program, but it is a little bit time consuming, you know, but it's a lot easier than those paper tests that we were giving in the past.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.